SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew is proud to announce we are now officially powered by TEC. If their fiber optic internet service can handle everything we throw at it here in the studio, from videos to calls and live streams, you better believe they can handle your home or business too. If speed, stability, and service is important to you, you can count on TEC. Thanks, TEC. Now let's get to the show. In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee. Where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Hey, happy Sunday, and thank you for joining us here for another episode of SportsCast. I'm your host, Jeremy Buckelew, and we've got another great show for you tonight. Got some folks here that part of a program that I know there's a lot of excitement around for this season that's going on and getting pretty close to moving into full-time district play. We'll talk about that with them here in just a little bit, but do want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors for bringing you SportsCast each and every week. Want to say thanks to TEC, and they supply our internet here at the studio and hadn't had any problems out of it whatsoever. So if they can supply our internet, then I'm sure they can take care of yours at home as well. And so thanks to TEC. Also want to say thank you to Taters out on the Lake Highway. Had that for lunch today. As a matter of fact, it was good as always. Go out to Taters and grab you smash burgers, some fries, fried pickles. I got all kinds of appetizers. Don't forget they also have the bike shop. And so if you've got a motorcycle, you need it worked on, you can take it out there and grab a bite to eat while you're there waiting for them to fix up your motorcycle, or just go by and get some food, because it's always good and always a great atmosphere out on the Lake Highway. And then also want to say thank you to All Star Fence and Jeff Archie and his crew. They do a great job, and anything fence related that you need done, they can take care of it. And so that's the guys out at All Star Fence, and give them a call and they can hook you up for all your fencing needs. And just want to say thank you to them for being a sponsor here on SportsCast. Without our sponsors, we couldn't bring you the show each and every week, so I do appreciate them and their support for what we're doing here. Before we introduce our guest, going to go through Buckelew's breakdown inside the Wolf Den. Henry County had a big football game on Friday night, and it was a fun atmosphere. And if you missed it, shame on you, but we've got some highlights, and so we're going to do that right now. Henry County versus Dixon County battle for the barrel started back in 1999. Henry County leads the series 21-17, now 22-17 after this past Friday night. But Patriots came out and were ready to play. Showed from the start, good crowd on hand at Patriot Stadium. This here was a big play early on as Henry County had taken the football and scored. And then on the ensuing kickoff, you can see the ball just checks up and bounces right back to Henry County, able to fall on it as Denius Ward comes away with the football for Henry County, and that would lead to another touchdown. Blackout night for the students there in the student section. Here we see big Diesel Ward taking the handoff from Spellings and making number 13 pay for getting in his way That's a touchdown for the Big Red. Diesel had 2 touchdowns on the night, one of 4 yards, one of 5 yards. And here you can see the athleticism of Jeremy Beard. Drops the fumbles the handoff from Spellings. Doesn't matter one bit. Picks it up, returns it 19-yard again. Not picking on number 13 here, but once again, pays for getting in the way of Jeremy. And then just the defense all night long was swarming, living up to the nickname Red Swarm. You can see here if the first person missed, there were 3 or 4 others just waiting right behind them, and just Dixon County had no answer all night long for anything that the Patriots did. Here you see a big sack by Xavier Foster for the Patriots, resulting in a huge loss for Dixon County. And then even when the Patriots had something go wrong, you can see here Spellings fumbles the snap a little bit, but turns and just fires it out to Jeremy Beard, makes one man miss, and that was Jakai's 34-yard touchdown pass. Had another catch for 35 yards, made his way into the end zone on it. Here, just more defense from Henry County as Denias Ward comes up with a big sack for the Patriots. And again, just everything going right for Henry County right here. Hard to tell what happened on this play, but Dixon County swings out their receiver. It goes through his hand, hits his helmet, goes straight up into the air, and Sam Harrison comes down with the interception, and that would lead to this 7-yard run by Aiden Spellings for another touchdown. This is all in the first half, made it 38-0 at that point, Henry County, and they would go on to tackle in one more to finish the ball game 44-0 over the Cougars from Dixon County. So big win for the Patriots on Friday night. They go to 1-0 in region play. This weekend will be at Page for another big showdown with the Patriots of Page. So Battle of the Patriots is Friday night. But I tell you, I want to thank Scott Norwood. He gets all that footage for us on Friday nights. But Scott, I'm going to throw a challenge out there that we should do that some more places. And I bet these 3 people here at the table would gladly let us come out to any of their events and do the same thing and showcase and highlight their young ladies. Glad to have with us tonight from the Henry County Lady Patriots soccer program, head coach Julian Beard is with us, and assistant coaches Hannah Raymer and Alex Edgen in the studio with us, live here at the Brewer Street Mafia Studios. We're glad they have joined us. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here. We're going to start the show like we do the same each and every week. We'll start with Coach Beard. Coach, what's the best thing you've seen this week?
I would say probably the best thing that I've seen this week is we had some teachers who had their students do essentially thank you notes to all their students. And so I have several students that reached out to me, gave me notes and everything. But, as a teacher, we're kind of responsible for enlightening, not also doing that, but also motivating our kids. But to receive thank you notes, that's also motivating for us too.
Never hurts to let teachers know that you actually appreciate what they're doing and how much, because I'm married to a teacher. My mom was a teacher, and so I know all the work that goes into it. And so I'm appreciative of it, but it's nice to know that the kids recognize that sometimes too. So, Hannah, how about you? Best thing you've seen this week?
I would say I work for Young Life, a local ministry here to high school kids, and we had our freshman club. We meet on Monday nights, and so Monday was our first kickoff with freshmen, and had lots of freshmen there with us, and even some seniors came to help lead club. And so it was just really fun to see a full circle moment of seniors being at freshman club and helping lead in a way they haven't been able to before, and then freshmen being introduced to Young Life, and just excited for the semester with them.
Yeah, we of course, your husband Devin was one of the first guests I had. I think show 3 was with Devin, and I know he's extremely proud of the work that is done with Young Life and the kids that y'all reach and the ministry that y'all have. And so that's awesome. I saw the picture on Facebook. It looked like about 100 kids there. I don't know what the number was, but it was a bunch of kids, and that's always great to see.
It was a bunch of kids. It was a fun time.
Good. Alex, best thing you've seen this week?
Well, obviously the big win over Dixon County, the Barrels, St. Henry County, but also Grove freshman team.
Yeah.
Their big win over Dyersburg too. Always a good time to get a win over Dyersburg.
They're rolling. That freshman team won 42-12 this past week, and they have outscored. I think they have outscored. They played 3 games, and I think it's something like 115-12 is what they have scored this year. It is unbelievable and leads to a lot of excitement. For me, I'm going to go with Ken and I made the trip down south last night to watch the Ole Miss Rebels take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, and it didn't end the way that she wanted it to, but it was Stripe the Vault. I'm telling you, folks, if there's me and her and Cade and Piper. So Kenna is at Arkansas. You see, all hogs go to heaven, according to her hat. But she said right now all hog fans are in somewhere else. You figure out what she's talking about. But, yeah, so Kenna's a Razorback. And then, of course, Cade and Piper. Cade and Piper both graduated from Ole Miss, where they met and have been dating for 3 years or so now. And of course, Cade's down at Jackson, Mississippi now in law school, but they met us in Oxford for the ball game. And Kevin, can we go back to that picture of the stadium? Listen, folks, like it was Stripe the Vault, electric atmosphere, and if you haven't been to an SEC stadium to watch a football game, you're missing out. Just go see one. I don't care who it is. It's Tennessee, great. Vanderbilt, okay, but Ole Miss is just 3 hours and 15 minutes away, and it was an electric atmosphere. Great football game. Ole Miss won 41-35. I thought the Hogs were going to pull it out at the very end, but a fumble with about a minute and a half left in the ball game cost them that, and so the Rebels go on to win. We had a good time, but met Luke down there, and just Arkansas, Ole Miss was a good showing, and so we had a good time with that. Obviously, Henry County, I was, impressive win. Good to see this week. And so, but my best thing, I love footballs on Friday nights and Saturdays, and being able to get to the game Saturday was a lot of fun. So, Henry County Lady Patriots soccer. Man, you guys are rolling right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a big way to put it? So, Coach, you're the head coach. Okay. It's a talk show.
Trying to be meek about it, but yeah.
It's okay to be. Listen, I know the work that goes into it, right? I mean, like a lot of hours go into getting where you are. But y'all are. What's your record right now? Like
5-1-3.
5-1-3.
Yeah.
So, and I think the three. Murray, a very talented squad.
Very talented.
Some very talented competition you ran into at Gatlinburg.
So it was
right?
a West Virginia team and then also a Kentucky team.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk about all this in more detail. But it's okay for you to brag on the work that y'all have done to get them where they are. I mean, I think there's a lot of excitement around this team. Not to put any pressure on anybody, but I mean, they're looking good so far. Midway through the season, I guess now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a steady progress compared to what we were last year, but we knew pretty much coming in that this was going to be a very, very good squad.
So, Coach Beard, is your second year with the Lady Patriots and Patriots too. I had Coach Poole on my show earlier with Gavin and Jacob, and I had asked Coach to come on. He's like, "Yeah, I can be there." And then that week, he's like, "I forgot that I have engagement photos that Sunday." And I was like, "Well, Coach, you better not miss those engagement photos."
Look, that was a very, very first lesson that I learned, to make sure you check in with your spouse to make sure that you have nothing going on that weekend. I learned.
Coach, I've been married 21 years. No, is that right? Yeah. That message is the same message in year 21 as it is back in year whatever. Okay?
Look, and that was like the first thing that I asked her too. I was like, do we have anything going on? I was like the second, third week of September, and she was like, not that I know of right now. And I was like, all right, just want to double check and make sure, because I don't want to book or plan anything, and we got something going on.
I appreciate you being here. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I said, year 2 for the Lady Patriots, but before then, where were you? What were you doing? And just talk about your background in soccer a little bit.
So I'm from Jackson, Tennessee. I've been playing soccer since I was 5, something like that.
You were one of the ones out there chasing the butterflies and picking.
Oh, no.
Right?
No, but look, I got into it because I had an older cousin who played, and my mom, she played basketball in high school and also middle school and everything. But my dad was a boxer, semi-pro, and then went professional after a while, and also wrestled in high school. And she was like, you can do everything except except boxing.
Yeah. Well.
So got into soccer. Soccer was like the thing that I really loved. I was one of those kids that just about played everything, with the exception of football. I didn't play football until like high school or so, and so got all the way into high school. Had an offer from Delta State. Turned that down because by that time I was just burned out.
Yeah,
just completely burned out. And the coach that I got my high school year of senior year, he reached out to me like a year or two after I graduated. And he said, "Hey, you want to get into coaching?" I was like, "Look, I don't know about that."
Sure.
So got into it, and this is where I was over at Liberty Tech. That's where I graduated from. Okay. And, coached there for, I think, 4 or 5 years. I was an assistant coach and then made my way up to a head coach. Had a really good friend of mine who I consider like my coach and mentor, Jeff Lean, who was over at Jackson Christian at the time, who reached out to me. I think it was my second year of being a head coach, and he said, "I know you're frustrated with everything that's going on, and we've talked about, me and you working together." And so eventually he had me come over to Jackson Christian, spent 2 years, and then over to Milan for, I think, 3 or 4 years, and then Haywood for 2 years, and now here.
Now you're here. Well, we're glad to have you.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, just doing an outstanding job with the program. Hannah, so you're the assistant coach. We had Devin on the show earlier, so I know a little bit about you, but I'm going to let you tell the folks who you are. But had Devin on the show, and he was talking about like his many like hidden talents that he has.
He
has many. And so where are you on the scale of here's Devin's hidden talents, Hannah's hidden talents? Are they equal to Devin's?
Oh,
or
not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
Her acting is actually very, very good. She ain't gonna bring it up, but I will.
If you've ever been to a Young Life banquet, you'll see me up there, out of my comfort zone, but in Devin's comfort zone for sure. Up there, we'll do a little skit just for entertainment.
Tell us about Hannah, because I got to hear all about Devin. So tell us about Hannah.
So I was born and raised for the majority of my childhood in Jackson. Graduated from Trinity there, but my soccer career started when I was 6. We were living in Williamson County, so just the county league, little kids soccer. All my friends were playing, so decided, well, I might as well try it. Sure. And so did that, and when we moved back to Jackson, was involved in Jaws Soccer Club, the little kids, and then eventually made it to where I played club ball with Rush at the time. It's just not in existence anymore, I don't think, club ball. And then that eventually merged with Wolves, and now that's Jackson Soccer Club. Did that through middle school and high school, played school ball, played at Trinity, and post high school played at Bethel as well. Got an offer there and played there. And after that, first year out, McKenzie High School, I studied to be a math teacher, actually. Fun fact. Not doing anything with that right now. But if you need a math tutor, I'm your girl. So post-college, accepted a job at McKenzie High School, was the head coach. They needed somebody, and so didn't know what I was doing at all, but was the girls and boys coach at the time. But the girls had a really good season. We actually went to state that year. Nice. And then several years after that they did, but I was not the coach at that time. Left there, moved to Jackson, got out of teaching, was in ministry at a church in Jackson at Inglewood, but assisted back at Trinity for a couple of years as well before we moved here to Paris, and then assisted with Coach Beard last year, and then this will be my second now assistant.
Remind me how you and Devin met.
We met at Bethel, actually at Chick-fil-A during a basketball game, halftime. I was dating one of the basketball players, and it was halftime, so we had gone to go get our Chick-fil-A, and we were freshmen, little babies, sure. And he was like, just true Devin fashion. Hey, my name's Devin. What's your name? And then we got to talking, and we didn't end up dating until after college, or really senior year of college. But we were both in different relationships. But we both did Young Life together at McKenzie High School, so we got to know each other as friends there, and then took our relationship further, and now we're married with 2 kids.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll get to Alex in just a second. Coach, I mentioned that you missed because of engagement photos. Congratulations on your engagement. a couple months ago, I guess. But anyway, I
Get
didn't
married.
want to miss that and throw it out.
It's all good.
You
Getting married next month.
There you go. All right, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Nice. The outsider
Yeah,
of the
the
group,
outsider.
man. Alex,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Tell us about yourself.
I was born and raised in Evansville, Indiana, so very much a Henry County transplant.
Right.
Grew up playing soccer my entire life. I was definitely one of those that loved sports from the minute I got into it, and soccer was one of my first loves. Evansville, specifically, lower tip of Indiana, very much a soccer place, you know. And where I went to high school, I went to Memorial High School. Very much, again, big soccer background. So soccer was huge where I came from. Played my entire life. Went to college. Unlike those two, didn't play college ball, but went to Murray State and then got my job here and started coaching at the middle school level.
Yep.
Been doing that for the past 10 years. And then this year got the call from Coach Lassiter, needed an English teacher at Grove, took that, and then there was an opening to help out with
Nice.
soccer as well, and here I am.
Yeah, so you were at Inman for a long time.
Correct, yes.
And then did soccer and basketball.
I did. I dabbled
there.
in basketball a little bit.
Well, no, they had very good basketball teams coming out of Inman along with the soccer program, and so don't sell yourself short there. Y'all all mentioned something, and because Alex, I know you've got little ones. Hannah, you've got little ones.
Yeah.
And so y'all mentioned that I think all of you started playing soccer at a really young age, and now like one of the biggest things in the fall, it seems like in Henry County, or is it in the summer? Y'all did the Little Kickers.
The summer.
The
Yeah.
summer. Right, that's kind of a talk about the Little Kickers program, because, like you said, all of y'all started. I remember soccer was the first thing that I remember playing as an organized sport.
Yeah.
All of our kids played soccer when they were like 4 years old, and so I mean, it is something that you can get out there and start teaching at a very early age. But talk about the Lady Patriots and their Little Kickers fundraiser that I guess are.
So that's like one of our really big things that we do every single year. I know a lot of our girls are excited for it. Pretty much every single one of these girls have gone through Little Kickers, so it's actually pretty cool to see their parents post like their pictures from when they were kids. But it's always a great time. Like, I enjoy myself. I remember last year, that's after the torn Achilles, and I was just out there on the golf cart. But it was fun to see like all the kids, like all the parents, and also all our girls actually having a very good time with it.
How many will y'all have sign up to do that? Usually it's a lot.
I think it's like, I don't want to get this wrong. It's somewhere between 80 to 125, something like that.
But that's great, because that's for. I mean, the Lady Patriots are who does the fundraiser, but it's for anybody, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be. It's not for just the little girls of Henry County. It's for anybody to get out there and do it. But I mean, to have 80 or 90 to 100 kids that are interested in soccer, because it's such a growing sport anyway. I know we talked about it back earlier when Coach Poole was on, but the way that it has just blown up here recently, especially. But I mean, you start them young enough in something, they fall in love with it, and they just want to keep doing it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I believe it started with Coach K. I believe he was the one that started Little Kickers and everything. And so part of the reason why a lot of Henry County teams are pretty good when it comes to soccer is because it started a long time ago. So that's Little Kickers is essentially like a foundation of everything that we do.
Nice. So y'all got that, but season starts sometime around. Is it late August? Y'all actually started in September?
Well, we start preseason games are normally first, second week of August, and then you start your actual regular season about the third week of August. So.
I know I've got a schedule that they're going to show here in a little bit of the season, but yeah, go ahead and put that up there for us, Kevin, if you will. But yeah, so there's the season. So preseason start, as you said, not about halfway through it now, I guess, but you know. Another good thing that you do you make I'm assuming you make this schedule, right? There's some tough teams on there. Madison's always a good team. Yep. Dyersburg's a good team. USJ is a good team. Murray is a good team. Never shy away from a quality opponent.
Oh, no.
Right?
Look, that was the thing. A lot of our girls coming into this year, like, they knew we were going to be a lot better than what we were last year. And I told them the big thing for us was we were going to need a better challenges all throughout the entire season and everything. So there were some teams, mainly with Murray and USJ, and of course Rossview, but they also want to pay back for Rossview. But Murray and USJ were like the teams that they were a little unsure about, and then also Bartlett. But we came away with a tie with Murray, and then also USJ was a little difficult, but we learned a lot.
Right. Just spent, not last weekend, I guess the 5th through the 7th, you were in Gatlinburg. One of my favorite trips as far as soccer go. Of course, I've only been on one, but thoroughly enjoyed our time last year. Of course, Case has been 2 years. But as far as one of the best venues in the state, maybe in the Southeast for soccer games.
That's probably the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we've got some photos from that, but yeah, you can't beat that view when you're out there on the soccer field. But again, played some really, really quality opponents in Gatlinburg this year from some other states. Talk about those games, what you learned from those games, about your squad, and how that will help you as we move into a heavier district play. I think you've already got 2 district games under your belt, but
just one, or is it 2?
Kenwood and
we got Northwest this Tuesday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So, but anyway, talk about your time in Gatlinburg, how that went. Some of those teams, like you said, played one from Kentucky that was really good. Played one from
West Virginia, and then another team from, I believe it was East Tennessee. Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Seymour. So talk about those and how you. It's one of my favorite pictures, by the way, of Piper getting around, but the 3 of you in the back. It was the only picture I could find with the 3 of you in the back. Just kind of. We'll come back to that. But talk about that Gatlinburg tournament a little bit.
Overall, it was a very, very good trip. This was their year that we moved up in the bracket, because I know the last, I believe, 2 years we spent in the lower tier and everything. So whenever you're doing the Gatlinburg tournament, you can sign up for either the lower, middle, or even the upper tier. And so this was our year that we signed up for middle. We knew we were going to have some very, very difficult matches and everything. And so we came into the first match. I think that was the one that was it the one that we won or tied?
Yeah, we beat Seymour.
Okay, so beat Seymour, and honestly controlled it pretty good. Once we got to the second match against the West Virginia, that's where we got a little
complacent, I think.
It was a little complacent, and then it was also like a little chatter coming into the match because they saw how bad the West Virginia team beat up on the Kentucky team. Yes. So they were like, oh, okay, like this is very good squad. And then I think they also saw that they were ranked in the top. At the time, I thought they were in top 10 and top 15 in the state for West Virginia. We ended up tying that match, and I think it was Olivia Kendall's dad. She went over there and talked to the coach, and he was telling them like, no, we're actually in the top 5.
Wow.
So that was actually a very good challenge, and we gave up a goal right there at the very end. Like I think it was like the last 3 minutes or so, but I mean, that second half, that was a complete turnaround for us. And then when we played the Kentucky team, that was also from a physical standpoint, that was different for us because most of those girls were.
All those girls were bigger than Olivia. So,
wow. Because Olivia, she's a good soccer player. And she's great basketball. I don't mean that ugly. I just mean that, Olivia's not small. Size, She's got some size to her.
Right.
And normally Olivia's the one bullying.
Yes.
And she had a good matchup for every single team that we played. Man marked her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's generally how it normally is. Like, they're normally going to man mark her. But this squad had a few girls that were, what would you say, like 5'11"?
Oh, yeah. I mean, standing next to Hope, too, so it was like.
It was a big. But I mean, they held their own down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, we made some adjustments, and, we came away with a tie. And I think it was almost kind of similar to that. Like, we gave up a goal within the last 15 minutes or so. But overall, with all 3 of the teams that we faced, if I'm comparing it to last year, it may have been some different results, but this year, completely different.
Now, I saw on the Facebook page, I think it said that y'all were a finalist.
Mm-hmm. Came in second place.
Okay,
yeah,
so I was going to ask what that meant as far as.
Came in second place for our little bracket and everything.
And that's based on a point system, right? Like you get so many points for a win, so many points for a tie.
Yeah, you get 3 for a win, 1 for a tie, and then 0 for a loss.
So good showing for Lady Patriots, given the competition that y'all were up against, and nothing wrong with that. And so 30 minutes has already gone by. We've got to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk more Lady Patriot soccer with Coach Beard and Coaches Raymer and Edgen. We'll be back after these messages. Y'all stay tuned.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Back here on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Want to remind you, next week we will have Crystal Kendall in studio. Crystal is the head coach for the the middle school Lady Patriot softball team. Their season is just wrapping up, and so Crystal will be on next week to tell us about how her season's gone and postseason events. And I think head coach Renee Lassiter is going to be my special co-host for that show, and so it's always glad to have Renee on and be able to sit down and talk to her. But that's next Sunday night at 7:30 live here on SportsCast. Tune in on YouTube or on the Facebook page as always. And then on Tuesday night, special show for the Mike Weatherford Show. There will be a candlelight vigil downtown in memory of Charlie Kirk. And so Mike's show will be live, I believe, from that vigil downtown on the square. And so it's going to be a combination of in studio and live from the vigil. And he'll have Jay Reedy and Dave Vance and others on with him for that. And so don't forget, that's Tuesday, September 16th at 7 o'clock live on the Mike Weatherford Show page and his Facebook page, and also on the My Paris TV YouTube channel. And so you'll want to check that out, I'm sure, and hear everything that Mike and those guys have to say about that. Just a crazy week for the country. But anyway, glad to have Coach Julian Beard with us in studio, along with Hannah Raymer and Alex Edgen, talking about Lady Patriot soccer. And so I thought a minute ago, I don't mind picking on y'all a little bit, I hope, but Hannah's so quiet. And then Alex, I've known you a long time. Yes. You're pretty vocal on the sideline. And then I know Coach Beard. Who's between the two of you, and Hannah, you can jump in too. I've never heard Hannah just get really loud about anything. But so between the two of you, who is the most vocal out there?
I mean, if I recall correctly, in the Dyersburg match, the Dyersburg coach started saying something about a foul, and I whipped my head around like, "What do you mean?" And then Coach Beard said, "Just," and I was calming myself down, and the girls kind of got on to him for saying, "Hey, don't silence her. Don't make her feel bad."
And so, I can, of course, being the head coach, I kind of hear Coach Beard when I'm at the games and yelling instruction. But like I said, Alex, I've been to enough both soccer and basketball games to know that you never shy away from
sure don't.
Chiming in, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just so when y'all are out there, what's some of the lingo that y'all use with the girls to get them to? I
mean, I'm all about, give the effort,
Sure.
push, let's go. I was a defensive midfielder, so I was very much a McKinney Stone type player. So, I'm looking at the center mids what they're doing, if they're where they're supposed to be, that we're not too spaced out all over the place, getting out, moving. So that's kind of, I'm looking at that, making sure they're showing for the ball, getting in the right space, getting into that space to receive from either our defenders to push it wide, things like that.
Sure.
For our fullbacks. Just always, hey, let's go.
Right.
So I would say for me, I don't think I have too much lingo.
Can I ask you about one thing?
Okay.
Because I hear it all the time. It's like, is it step 2? And are you saying step to the ball?
No,
is that
yeah,
okay?
that's exactly
That's what I thought. I just
Okay,
wanted
so I
to.
do have lingo.
There you go.
All right,
Yeah.
So step 2 just
Step
simply
two, yeah.
means like step to the ball.
Don't wait on it. Don't sit back
don't
and
wait
wait.
on it
Okay.
or anything like that. We want to close out that space. Another thing, and I think I say it quite a bit, is find. Find
Okay.
just simply means anytime we have possession of the ball, like we want to find the next available option and everything. So it's typically the closest option. You may hear me say mainly to the back line, like push up.
Sure.
That just simply means like shift everything up. Like that's more of I wouldn't say if it's a new style and a new lingo. They've heard me say it quite a bit, and most coaches do say it, but they hear me say it quite a bit now this year, especially with us being a little bit more aggressive with our defense.
Sure.
So
So if you've never been to a soccer game, a lot of opportunities this week to see the Lady Patriots, because as we said, there'll be a big, every district game is a big game, but there's a big district game at home this Tuesday night against Northwest, who, Coach, before we came on, you were saying should be a good game for the Lady Patriots, good challenge, which you like to be challenged in the district, but not too much.
not too much.
But that'd be a good game.
Sometimes we like to skate through,
Sure, but
kind of easy.
But that's going to be a good game on Tuesday night at Patriot Stadium.
Yep. So we'll play them. It'll be our second district match of the season. That'll actually be our first, and I want to say our only district match of the regular season, because I think the rest of them are away.
Okay.
And it's just every single year is a flip.
It's
So
the
this
way it
is
goes with- yeah.
So next year, most of our district matches will be at home, but this is the only district match, with the exception of if we win out of our district, which is expected for us to do.
Sure.
We'll host a district just similar to what we did with the boys. So first round, which will be semifinals, will be hosted here. And then same thing, if we win that match,
Right.
we'll host a district championship.
Nice. Now, Kevin, go back to that picture you just had up. You got some senior leadership on this team, right? Mm-hmm. So what was that? My math is correct, math teacher. I think it's 7 players.
Yeah.
They're on the team. Just go through them and what each of those young ladies means to the Lady Patriots. Not that the whole team doesn't, but
So, this is a very, very special group right here. It's going to be a little difficult to replace all 7 of them. Like, that's like kind of the conversation that we've been having even before the season started, and even while the season's going on, is that each one of them, just not on a physical standpoint and what they bring to the field and everything, but also like the leadership. Now, a few of these girls are captains, such as like Hope, Piper, Olivia, and then also Mila, but Addie, and then also Miley and Jayla are extremely important to everything that we do across the field. And I always lean on like our seniors to also be leaders for the group. It was just similar to last year. Last year we had MC and also Jana, who were our captains, but Lainey was also a very important thing, important person that we had on the field. But for these girls right here, it's not also just the leadership that they bring, but they also are modeling out exactly how I want this program to be.
Good.
And so we lean very heavy on all 7 of these girls.
good deal. So Tuesday night they'll be in action against Northwest, but then there's something exciting this weekend at Patriot Stadium. First time we've done anything like this, Patriot Invitational.
Yep.
And so talk about that. The games that will be going on. Excuse me, on Friday night and Saturday morning out at the high school, and what teams you got coming in, what's that going to look like, and how people can watch the Lady Patriots at that.
So this is actually very big. This is one of the things that I wanted to do when I first came in. We have the facilities for it, with us having a great turf field and also a very, very nice grass field.
Right.
Like not too many schools actually have that. But we were supposed to host one with the boys season, and I think we had a rain out for that. So it was, girls were going to be the first ones who were going to model out everything. And so we have a total of 8 teams. Let me double check on that because we had some adjustments.
There's been some fluctuation in the last couple days.
So it is Henry County, Mumford, Westview, Huntington, McKenzie, Augustine out of Jackson, Tennessee, Trinity Christian Academy, and I am forgetting one more. Ooh, I said Mumford, correct?
You did.
Yeah, I don't know why the other team just.
We'll get that other one.
Yeah, we'll get the other one. Like it'll pop up as soon as I'm done here. It'll pop up then. But originally we were all slated to have 3 matches and everything, but we had some adjustments. We had one team drop out at the last minute, and so I had to make some adjustments. So now we're just doing 2 matches. So we'll play Westview on Friday at 5 o'clock. Okay. And then we'll have a 7 o'clock showtime with Westview versus, not Westview, we'll have Mumford versus, I think, Augustine, and I think Trinity versus Kirkwood. That's the other team. So out of Clarksville. And then Saturday morning, each team is going to have just one match. We'll play Huntington at the 9 a.m. time slot at the turf field. Okay. And then we'll have 11, a 1, and also a 3 p.m.
Okay.
And like I said, just only 2 matches that we're only participating in. But overall, this is a very exciting thing. It's not so much a tournament now since we're all dropping down to 2.
Sure.
But if we were still at 3 matches, it will be a tournament point-based system, similar to what you see in Gatlinburg and everything.
And then, but there'll be games going on both fields.
Mm-hmm. So
right?
that Friday, the Friday night is when we're going to have matches going on at both fields and everything. Now, once we get to Saturday, it's just going to be just turf, and then all the other teams want to play on grass.
I was going to ask, that was going to be our next question with Henry County. So just because I heard you talking about it, I made a note to ask. Turf versus the grass. A lot of places that we go don't have turf, but that's what we play on. From your playing days and your experience, even
you're asking a long time ago now.
Well, which do you?
Because we're all like same age.
Okay,
group.
So the kids then, so you can speak for the kids. What do you think they prefer?
Oh, they prefer turf all day long. They're going to tell you turf is the best field to play on, and I'm just nope. I hate it.
Is it because it's so much faster? Because to me, it looks faster as far as the game.
It is faster, but in my opinion, it's just also a very unnatural. Okay. If you're watching professional or even the collegiate level, like it's not that fast.
Right.
Like even the bounce that you see, anytime the ball bounces on the ground, it's very unnatural. It's going to be a bigger bounce. But no, I'm always going to be a grass person. Like I am grass. Like even when I was in high school, even growing up, it was always grass fields. Yep. Like the school that I went, they offered and everything. They had 2 grass fields. As a matter of fact, I believe they played in their football stadium. Grass field also.
Yeah.
So no, I'm always going to be a grass person.
We played turf at Bethel for.
Y'all.
So that was my only experience with turf.
Sure.
So grass all through high school and everything, but I would still prefer grass way over turf, 100%.
That was probably a big adjustment for her because Trinity also has a very nice field.
Yeah. We had a great field.
Yeah, for her to go from a very nice grass field to turf.
Right.
And we were just kind of talking about this, but with Bethel, they kind of, it's not AstroTurf, but it's low.
It's a little different. But and I'm not trying to sound ugly to anybody here, but I think that's one of the things is y'all don't get to play on just a whole lot of really nice grass fields.
No.
Like a lot of these fields that y'all are playing on look like cow pastures that they just painted some lines in.
Look, I'm not. It's not trying to. Yeah, it's not.
I'm not trying to be ugly or take a dive. I'm just saying that.
So we were at one earlier.
Clarksville, Kenwood. It was Kenwood and we have played 2 district matches, West Creek. And we were talking about it. Like one of the girls, they kind of pulled me over to the side.
A drain on the sideline. Like if they would have run out of bounds, they would have cleats would have hit the drain.
I know there's one. I think it's at Dixon that it kind of tails off down a hill on the far corner. And so, again, I'm not trying to bash these other schools. I'm just saying. I say it all the time on the radio, whether it be baseball, softball, soccer, whatever, when we're playing somewhere, that a lot of times I don't think our kids understand and appreciate what they have at Henry County.
I would argue that we have some of the best facilities, and I'm talking about across all sports.
Right.
Like you go inside of our gymnasium, one of the best courts, and also one of the best atmospheres. I was looking at that when we had our 9/11 ceremony this past week and everything, and I was like, man, this is a great gym. Love it and everything.
But a lot of these places y'all go, and that's why I say the turf just looks faster is because the grass just, it looks like it just slows the ball down so much when it's kicked and everything else. And then, of course, some of these, I don't know how often they've been mowed and everything else.
When we went to, I think it was when we went to Kenwood, and that grass, when you stepped in it, like it would come. Here's your foot. Like I would say, you got grass that's almost up here with your laces and everything, and it was.
Yeah.
So again, not to pick on the, I'm just saying that the facilities that they have to play in, that's why I just wondered which one they preferred. And
yeah, they're always going to take turf.
Yep.
Always. Even look, I've mentioned it to them a time or two, and it's the same thing with the boys team. Like, hey, would y'all like be up to playing like one of our matches on the grass field? And they were like, I like our grass field.
Yeah.
No. No. It's always a hard no.
Yeah.
Like you may have one or two. I think Thomas Palmer was one of the guys. He was like, hey, can we play a match on our grass field? And I was like, I want to play a match there. I just don't know if it'll happen.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of places that they have those like one throwback match or whatever, and so, just make it one that's a not district game or something, just for fun. And so I just got some questions here that people ask me and want to know. But so how do you prepare your girls for like, okay, we got a big district match on Tuesday?
Okay.
Coaching philosophy and that kind of stuff. What goes into getting them ready to Tuesday when they walk out on that field? They're locked in, they're ready to go. Or is that just them? You don't have to do a whole lot of it.
Well, I would say it's 50-50.
Okay.
So 50 is preparation, and the other 50 is they're always going to be ready.
Yeah.
Normally, what I do as far as preparation is we go in and rewatch old film from like our previous match just to look at us and see all the things that we did wrong within that match, and then also highlight some good things.
Sure.
But we'll always have a film session typically like a day or two before. It always depends on like the weekly schedule and what we like, pretty much how the matches are spaced out. So we'll have that, and then if we can, like on Mondays, like for instance, tomorrow will be more of a technical session where we're working on just skills. And then we also like to have more tactical stuff. And for the tactical, since we're pretty much ingrained in everything that we, what we're going to do this regular season, now our tactical sessions are just set pieces. So corner kicks, free kicks, goal kicks, everything that you can think of, even down to PKs, like we'll go over that, but we'll have a set day where we're going over just two things. Like this last week, I think it was Wednesday or so, it was going over all of our corner kicks. And then can't remember what else that we cover, but that's normally what we do. And then we'll also have a scouting report. Now, depending on the opponent, we'll have a scouting report maybe either the day before or typically it's the day of. Like I try to get them in the mindset of worrying about ourselves the day before a match, and then once we get to the match, then we'll see some of the things that they do. So if we have film on them, I'll show them, hey, this is their tendency, this is what they're going to do, these are people that you want to watch out for, so on and so on, and then we'll get right back into exactly what we need to do in that match.
Okay. How early, I meant to ask this, or probably should have asked this first, but how early do y'all start working with them? I know that TSSAA has some requirements and some weird dates that, I know dead period, you can't do anything, but like how early in the summer can they start conditioning, and then when can you actually start coaching them?
So we can actually start conditioning. I mean, you can start conditioning all the way once the season ends. You can start conditioning like shortly after. Like I think Coach Hannah, she can enlighten us on this, but I think we start the girls weightlifting, and this is for a majority of them, this is their first time weightlifting. We started that back in, what would you say, March or so?
I think it was March, yeah.
Yeah, so we did that. She ran it while I was with the boys season and everything. And then I think it was around April or May, we have 8 practices that we can go through. And we got to get that done before school year is over with. So these are mainly the girls that are going to return, but it's not any of the new players. So no freshmen or transfers or anything like that. And then once we get to the summer, we have tryouts. I think we had tryouts like the Monday following graduation. And then right after that, we had conditioning.
Okay.
And I can't remember. I think that following week I was out for vacation. And then when I got back, that's when we pretty much all reconvened and we started. Yeah, that's what it was. So we started second week of June, but that's just conditioning. So conditioning, weightlifting, all that's fine. And then if we want to do small what TWSAA calls small practices, which is just only 6 kids and 1 coach or 2 coaches, whatever it may be. You can do that, but we didn't do that this summer, and then we can actually start practicing with them. It's like the 3rd week of July, something like that. So you roughly have 3 to 4 weeks right before the regular season starts. So it's kind of similar to what the boys' season is.
But just they got that 3 to 4 weeks to kind of fine tune and
we're speed rushing through a lot of things. Now we'll have major things that we cover. Like for instance, every single summer we've been going over to the Bethel camp, and I think they've been doing that for a while now. But since I've been here, we've continued that. That's normally the week that we come back from the day of period, or 2 weeks after. I can't remember exactly what it is. So at that camp, their coaches, they worked mainly with the attacking side of things, what we're going to do. And then once we got into our actual practices, that's where we kind of focused in on some of those things, and we expanded on that. But also we covered the defensive side of that. So
I know with the boys as well, you had several kids that play club ball, and so that's pretty much year round that they are kicking a soccer ball and staying in condition and all that. Same with the girls. I mean, you got a lot of girls that. Yeah,
we actually have. I would say with this current team, it's not half the girls. I would say roughly maybe about 10 to 12 girls that play club. Our seniors this year, with the exception of Piper, I think that may have been the only one. Their club team that they've always been a part of for like the last several years didn't have a team just because they didn't have enough numbers. But most of my junior class, sophomore class, and then even we had quite a few freshmen that also play club. So their club season starts. For some of them, depending on if they do ODP, which is Olympic Development, they'll start that. I want to say it's around November or so. So they'll end our season whenever, hopefully it's last week of October this year. And they'll turn around like 2 or 3 weeks later, and they'll start ODP, and then they'll actually start with their club team, they'll start that around, depending on who the team is, they'll start practicing around January, February. But normally most of them don't play until March.
Again, when I had Coach Poole on, I'll ask you all the same question. Of course, the professional team in Nashville, I think, has really grown the stuff a lot. I know we've gone to see the U.S. men's team play a couple of times, take Case and Hudson and Cale, and we'll head to Nashville and watch some games. And the women's team is just as phenomenal and as big of a deal as the men's team is.
I would argue it's probably bigger. Than
Well, and how much of an influence does that have on your kids? And to they see that and they're like, I want to go do something like that.
We got several of them, but mainly McKinney. McKinney is your one if you want to hear anything about any of the U.S. players. And I think, matter of fact, her and her parents, they went to, I think it may have been St. Louis when our women played, and it was back in June or so. And Kenny got back and she was telling me, she was like, I got such and such autograph, and I saw such and such, and I was like, I'm a little jealous, because the last match that I went to was, I think it was for the women. It may have been back last year, like in the springtime when they came up to Nashville. And we were sitting right behind the bench. So I got to see a couple of my favorites, mainly Trinity Rodman.
That's my favorite as well. I was going to say that.
That is my favorite. Like, after I found out that, it's Dennis Rodman's.
But I mean, she is just, she gets after it out there. And she's fun to watch. And, I mean, she's a handful when she's out there on the field. And so,
look, even a lot of our I would say like the next group that they have coming up, like the younger ones, somewhere between about 19 to about 22. That's also going to be a very good group. But I would argue like our national team has had a big influence on not just girls here in Henry County, but all across, all the states, like a big influence.
I remember growing up watching the 1999 World Cup. I mean, I was 8 years old, and I remember it like. And even now, I mean, it's continuing. Like,
it's iconic. I mean,
for sure.
With you, I know, and with me too, because I remember the same thing. I remember watching it, and those games are when I think of the U.S. women's soccer, that's what comes to my mind because that's what's burned in. And so now they've got this new generation that they get to see, and it's I'm sure they'll have memories as well of that.
But it is a big difference compared to when we were in high school, because I think we were all around the same age group. Because I know it was also kind of funny because her mom taught me over at Liberty. But I remember just even in high school, like while our girls team, between our boys team and our girls team, like both teams were good, but our girls team, like that was another level. Like they were making it to state. I think while I was there, I believe they made it twice or something like that. So every single year, even just within that school, and I will look just across like Jackson and a lot of these smaller cities, like you notice a big difference. Like for instance, there's a lot of schools now that have not only like soccer teams, like it used to be just co-ed teams for a lot of these smaller county schools or smaller city schools. And now you're starting to see girls team. Like for instance, Huntington is one of those teams that popped up and they're pretty good.
Yeah. About to run out of time. And so last question before we get to the lightning round is, other than winning, what are your goals for this program and for each one of you? So, Coach Beard, we'll start with you. What are your goals for the Lady Patriots soccer?
I would say outside of just us winning and this being one of the best programs, like not only just women's soccer programs across the state, I would argue one of the best sports programs across the state. That's one of the bigger goals. But outside of that, like one of my main goals just in coaching in general is these are young people that we're developing and everything. And so, for a majority of these kids, I'm still going to be connected onto them. And it's the same thing once they reach adulthood. They hear from me. Sometimes, it may be a couple of years until I hear from them, but I love to see that they developed into great people. And, we're just playing a very small part in all that, but to have and to be graced with a lot of these kids and, to have the trust from the parents and everything, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Hannah?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely echo what he said, but also, I've been on teams where I was on the starting lineup for the entire season. I've been on teams where I was sitting the bench for the entire season, and I think when I think about our girls, something that I want them, a goal of mine for them is for them to know that they belong and they have a place where they matter regardless of what their role is, whether they are a captain and they're starting every single game or whether they're on JV and they might get maybe a little bit of playing time. Right. I want them to know that they matter no matter what.
It's awesome. Alex?
Just kind of going off what they both said, obviously we want to win, but, the girls knowing their roles and knowing, when Olivia and Hope and Piper, and when they all graduate, they're next up. And so when they know that, they have a spot, but we got to work to get to that spot. We have to work to get better. And with the JV team, I think we're definitely seeing that. And then just continuing to build the program.
Very nice. All right, time for the lightning round. Okay. Thank you, my iPad put back up. All right, so we're going to start with Coach Beard.
Okay.
Just right, top of your head, what comes to mind and we're going to actually go around and we'll take turns. But what's your favorite coaching moment so far?
Favorite coaching moment. Are we saying just here or
no,
all
I'd say in general.
Ooh.
If it's not here, that's fine. But
I'll tell you one. And it's not here.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this is home and everything. But my last year over at Haywood, our girls program won district for the first time ever. And that program's been around for, I think, since 95. And the last year that I was there, won district. So I would argue that was probably my favorite coaching moment at all.
Hannah?
Mine is not here. Mine goes back to McKenzie. When I was coaching there, we had gone to the district championship, lost to Westview, and met them back at the region championship and pulled out a win. And that was probably one of my favorite coaching moments because of how they worked so hard and just, there's nothing I did, but it was great. I loved it.
Alex?
I can't remember if it was Jayla's 7th or 8th grade year, but she scored against USJ, and she ran to the sideline after she scored. She told me the story, and apparently I kissed her head because I was so excited. So that was one of my favorite moments, even if I don't remember it, but I remember her scoring.
Sure.
And then, kind of full circle getting to walk with her for Educator Night a couple weeks ago.
Look, she also had a great goal. That was back last year against
That was
Rossview.
good.
Yeah.
That
So
within
good.
the last, I think it was like 5 seconds, like she launched the ball.
So,
like
yeah.
I would say it was about 35 yards
Wow.
out, and
Clutch goals from Jayla
just,
Boutwell.
dropped in right there at the last second.
Nice.
Definitely favorite moment from last season.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, okay,
Okay.
yeah. We're talking like all across. Her goal was probably my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hannah, start with you this time.
Okay.
One word to describe the Lady Patriots.
Oh gosh, one word. Passionate.
Okay.
That's a good one. They're a family. I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
Resilient.
All right.
Like from what they were last year and then previous years, huge turnaround.
All right. Alex, toughest opponent on the schedule this year, you think?
Ooh. I don't know if they're the toughest, but the one I'm most excited to play. I'm excited for Westview on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Toughest, I would say USJ was the toughest.
I was gonna say USJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can copy.
Pre-game ritual or superstition? Do you have one? That's safe for a family show?
Okay. I'm gonna make it safe, but we were kind of joking about it with Coach Hendricks. But I got to go to the bathroom. That's just.
Oh, yeah.
But I do it like a couple of hours ahead of
Okay.
time. Not.
Hendricks would go right before kickoff. I mean, the ball would be lined up. He'd say, all right, I'm out. Okay.
It's the nerves.
Sure.
Like,
I get it.
it's about 2 hours away.
All right.
Like 2 hours before kickoff. Yeah.
Hannah, pre-game ritual or superstition you have?
I mean, I don't really know that I have one personally, but just being in the locker room, girls doing their hair a certain way, and it's just like if I do my hair this way, then just all of that, the girl things.
When this has just kind of been new since I've started, but when we stand in the circle and pray before the games,
Love that.
I stand right next to Riley Burks, and that's kind of been where I go first. Is stay next to Riley. So
Nice. Favorite soccer drill?
Drill.
Drill?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh goodness.
I love a good 1v1 to
Okay.
goal.
Okay.
All right.
So I got two. Mainly one's conditioning. You didn't get to see it, but
I sure
we
didn't.
look. We had this thing called a ladder, and the girls absolutely hated it.
Okay.
Like it's you build up, like going up the field or whatever. You got to go a certain distance, and it's under a certain amount of time, and then you got to build all the way back down. And
Okay.
they absolutely hated that. But as far as like actual drill, I would say we have this little transition drill. It's a very small box and everything, and it's just working on like this, like the speed of everything.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I'm a defensive player just by nature, and I love just strict 1v1s, 2v2s. I love anytime we do anything defensive.
Nice. Okay. We've talked tonight about how coaching is mentoring the younger generation. So, as a coach, who inspires you?
So I actually got 3 people.
Okay.
So one is definitely, and I know I mentioned him. He used to coach over at Jackson Christian. He's now up in not Chattanooga, but Clarksville. The other 2 is Coach Dancy, he's the boys basketball coach over at JCM, and then I also have Jared Cornergay, who he used to be my football coach, and then he turned into my soccer coach my senior year and everything. But he's the one that got me into coaching. So he was the one who really instructed me to come up here.
All right.
Like to mince some of the words that he said. He said that I would be a dummy if I did not come
All right,
here
well,
to Henry County.
Good.
And I agree with him.
I'm glad you're here. Hannah?
I think of one person, not a coach, but her name is Christy King, and we were close. We were on staff together in Jackson when I was in ministry there, and she had just took me under her wing, and she is just an incredible woman, and I inspired to be like her.
Okay.
And then of course I had great coaches, Misty Aird over
Sure.
at Bethel. She was incredible.
Yeah.
She just inspired us and helped us become the best that we could be.
Nice.
So.
I think Coach Renee Lassiter is somebody that I've always modeled myself after. You know, I'm new to the Henry County system, but she's always been around,
Sure.
you know. But I think she leads with such grace.
Yep.
She inspires those girls, and then those girls always come back to her, and that's somebody that I want to be too. You know, I want to be that coach that the girls come back, you know, that they send me a text, you know, like, hey, this is what I'm going through this weekend, you know, can you help me out? And, you know, I think Renee is somebody that I want to model myself after too.
Kevin, there was a picture in that group of pictures of the girls after a score. They're kind of lifting up. can't remember who it was that scored that one.
That's
Emma.
That's Emma. Yeah, I love that picture because it was in the rain. It just started pouring rain the other night at the game. So, Hannah, we'll start with you on this one. Your favorite win celebration?
Like, favorite win celebration,
Or
like
goal
them-
celebration,
or goal
whatever.
celebration.
Whatever the girls do. That
They have some silly things. I can't even describe it. Like, how would you describe what their little dance? I don't know.
all right.
Which they
It's
told
before.
me they
Yeah.
told me in Gatlinburg they actually practice these things.
Nice.
I don't know
They do.
when
I
they
mean,
practice
you
them,
know,
but they do practice.
Sure. Well, it's got to look good, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go out there and score a goal and then look silly.
Right.
So,
right.
Alex, do you have one?
I mean, whatever Olivia does, her little
Yeah.
that one is and there was something Milo was supposed to do against West Creek, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever happened, but Olivia probably has
She has
one
the
of the
best.
best.
Yeah. Look, I love Olivia's. I love Kenny's.
No,
Kenny.
McKinney is always so excited.
Look, it doesn't matter who scores.
Uh-huh.
McKinney is going to probably be the most excited person out there on the field. Like, she is one of those people that just wants to see everybody else win.
That's
but,
awesome.
I would say outside of those two, probably favorite celebration was the one last year. I forgot who we were playing. It may have been Dixon or somebody. And it was right after our Gatlinburg tournament, and I think I got like 2 yellow cards up there. And so they all, like, the entire group came over there towards the sideline. They like act like they were giving me a card. So yeah, that was probably my favorite one.
I forgot about that one.
All right, last one. If you weren't coaching, what would you be doing?
All right.
Or do you even want to think about it?
No, I'll think about it. So, like, I will tell you, I fought being a coach and then also teaching. I fought that for the longest.
Yes.
But before that, I would probably do what I was originally majoring in college. I initially started as agriculture business up at TSU.
Okay.
And so it would probably be selling insurance, the farms and everything,
All
and
right.
managing all that. So,
All
yeah,
that.
that's...
Yeah. Hannah?
Well, I'm the odd man out because I'm not an educator in the moment.
She is an educator.
In other ways, I guess. But if I were not to be coaching or doing what I'm doing, right now I'm in a new season where I am a stay-at-home mom, and I guess if I'm not doing that, I guess that's what I'm doing. And doing Young Life and being with high school kids, just being in their world.
Nice.
I don't know. I went in to college as an elementary education major, which, I mean, definitely not an elementary teacher. Found out real quick that middle school, high school is more my speed. So I don't really know what I'd be doing if I wasn't teaching and coaching.
That's all right. Guys, I appreciate y'all coming in
Thank
and
you.
telling us about the program. And again, a lot of excitement around this squad and their capability and the expectations, not to put any pressure on y'all or them, either one, but I mean, they're a good group of young ladies and they're fun to watch. And again, folks, a lot of opportunities this week to watch some Lady Patriots soccer, and I encourage you, I implore you, please get out and support these young ladies. If I'll be there Saturday, I wish I could come Tuesday night. I got to fly out Tuesday morning to Texas though, and so won't be able to make it. But Tuesday night against Northwest, big district game, and then the Lady Patriot Invitational this Friday night and Saturday morning. I think the Lady Patriots play at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Is that right? And so that'll be at the Patriot Stadium. Come out, support these young ladies. But then again, good game against Rossview coming up. Dixon County, always, as we saw this past Friday night, whenever Dixon County comes to Henry County for anything or we go there, it's a good game and it's a heated game and it's fun to watch. And so just a lot of opportunities to come out and support these young ladies, and I encourage you to do that. Please, they work as hard as anybody else and deserve the attention and your support just the same as all these other teams that Henry County has. And so, guys, I appreciate you coming in. Don't forget next week's show with Crystal Kendall on Sunday night live here in the studio at 7:30. You're going to talk some Henry County Middle School softball, and Coach Renee Lassiter will be here with me to carry on that conversation with Crystal, as Coach Lassiter's done such a great job with the high school program, and Crystal played for her, I believe, and then anyway, is the middle school coach now, and so Crystal and I graduated together, and so got some fun stories from our high school days maybe coming up, and so that's next Sunday night. And then don't forget Tuesday night the candlelight visual downtown. Mike's show will be there live, and then somewhat or in the studio as well. For that, he'll have special guest Jay Reedy and Dave Vance, among others, on that show with him. That'll be Tuesday, September 16th at 7 o'clock. And so that's it. Again, thanks to Coach Julian Beard. Thanks to Coach Hannah Raymer and Alex Edgen. Appreciate you and everything y'all do for Henry County Lady Patriots soccer. Good luck this week. Looking to go 3-0 and get that big district win on Tuesday night's the biggest thing. And so best of luck to y'all. And again, folks, go out and see these kids, support them, and it's well worth your time and effort to go out and watch these young ladies. They're fun to watch. It's exciting, and you won't be disappointed. We'll see you next week. As always, take care of yourself and each other. Y'all have a good night.